EVP, Electronic Voice Phenomenon.
Electronic Voice Phenomenon by Wikipedia. Within ghost hunting and parapsychology, electronic voice phenomena are sounds found on electronic recordings that are interpreted as spirit voices that have either been unintentionally recorded or intentionally requested and recorded. Parapsychologist Konstantin Rodive, who popularized the ideas in the 1970s, described electronic voice phenomena as typically brief, usually the length of a word or short phrase. Enthusiasts consider EVP to be a form of paranormal phenomena often found in recordings of static or other background noise. However, psychologists regard EVP as a form of auditory pareidolia and a pseudoscience. Well, they can't. Let's check out the history now of electronic voice phenomenon. As the spiritual religious movement became prominent in the 1840s, 1920s, with a distinguishing belief that the spirits of the dead can be contacted by mediums, new technologies of the era, including photography, were employed by spiritualists in an effort to demonstrate contact with the spirit world. So popular were such ideas that Thomas Edison was asked in an interview with Scientific American to comment on the possibility of using his invention to communicate with spirits. He replied that if the spirits were only capable of subtle influence, a sensitive recording device would provide a better chance of spirit communication than the table tipping and Ouija board and mediums employed at the time. Well, that is atransk.org. It is the American Association Transcommunication, founded in 1982. Association Transcommunication. It's a website specialized practically in transcommunication, instrumental transcommunication, and electronic voice phenomenon. And it has recordings depicting a transcommunication. Well, that is the introduction of the website. After-death communication abstract. Spontaneous communication across the veil has been characterized as after-death communication and induced ADC for the Botkin method of EMDR. A transic does not use death as a concept, preferring to use trance to indicate etheric physical interaction. We do not die, we transition to the other world. Well, there's a YouTube channel, Transcommunication, in German. And it specializes practically in transcommunication because many contactees are practically German and not in English, not in American English.
Ich hoffe, ihr hört mich. Und wo befindet ihr euch jetzt im Moment? Ich will das sagen. Das würde mich interessieren. Ich glaube, jeden von uns.
Well, EVP, or electronic phenomenon, or transcommunication, as you have seen in the short introductory video, is practically the recording via digital means of etheric voices or spirit voices of the other world. Now, if you Google this online or YouTube it, you can find many hits on German about electronic voice phenomenon, also in English. Nevertheless, it is predominantly in transcommunication in German that you find this data or these video footages or audio recordings. Now, me, myself, with experiences in the esoteric occult, I have made numerous experiences with ghosts or spirit entities that visit me on a regular basis. I made videos about the succubus phenomenon, about Isais, about Ishtara, and about the spirits who visit me. And I communicate with them via thought transference or telepathy. But as a matter of fact, they can also take over my body and talk practically through me, what you call possession in normal terms. They can even take over your hands, and this is so-called automatic writing. Automatic writing by Wikipedia. Automatic writing or psychography is an alleged psychic ability allowing a person to produce written words without consciously writing. The words are claimed to arise from a subconscious, spiritual, or supernatural source. As a matter of fact, I can also talk through Alex. My name is Isais. Name that Alex calls me with. I can talk or write through Alex when I take over his hands. Again, my hands can be taken over by etheric entities. Greetings from the other world, Isais and Ishtara. So, well, Isais, my spiritual guardian or my spiritual entity or my succubus that is near me, can take over my hands and write for me. Now, this has been researched and well researched by many, many other people that, again, have researched this subject and are practically can write entire books down without consciously writing. But it is a spirit entity or a spiritual force that is actually using the hands of these people to write practically through them. It's the same with the voice. It can also be taken over. Your voice can be taken over by them and they can talk through you. It's called possession. Now, electronic voice phenomenon is the ability to record digitally voices of the other world. These otherworldly entities could be spirits, dead people, can be etheric entities, can be higher dimensional entities, can be extraterrestrials, ET civilizations communicating through you. This means that you can be a contactee, as Billy Meyer or Virgil Armstrong, as an example. These are all people that were contacted by etheric entities or ET extraterrestrials, and then practically that telepathy got information. So Virgil Armstrong came practically to the same conclusion as I did. I believe that the Earth is hollow, or to some extent, or to some high probability, after reading the books that I found online, I can see the possibility that the Earth is hollow. Virgil Armstrong was in contact with the ET entities. At the same time, I get visited also by etheric entities, and these etheric entities can be either extraterrestrials, Nordic aliens, astral projecting and visiting me, or real spiritual entities or deities, like in the ancient writings of Isais and Ishtara. There's a numerous possibilities actually of invisible or higher dimensional entities contacting people if they are aware of them. And electronic voice phenomenon or transcommunication is just the next step in digitally recording these contacts. There are ghost hunters out there, also in America and in Europe, who go to haunted houses and try to make peace with these entities that are luring still down here in this earthen plane. So you can explain in this high-dimensional universe, in the Vedic universe actually, that there are spirits, poltergeists, ETs, high-dimensional frequency-based entities, or again spiritual entities or etheric entities, and that all these mythological entities actually exist. I wanted to make a video about transcommunication, stating that there's technology already that is available to mankind that can record spiritual entities or etheric entities. There have been even video footage or photographic footage that can be found online, also depicts actually so-called ghosts. And I'm completely convinced that you can make a video camera, yeah, that can portray or can visualize the succubus that is sitting on my lap. I got two with me all the time, and regularly others visit me, mostly at night when I go to bed. And yeah, for me it is a reality, and I communicate either by thought transference, they sync for me or give me thoughts, or they take over my vocal cords and then talk through me in that manner. I am a contactee in that respect with the spirit world, also with the esoteric or metaphysical world, or the ET contactee world. I've been contacted, I believe, in dreams already, and sometimes the asteroid project and visit me. I sense then a person that has a formal presence, actually, pretty much like somebody who is in the military and who is a German in origin. I believe these are the Imperial Germans who also visit me. Even last night I had a dream where they were actually telling me that they have a large army, practically, the Imperial Germans in the inner Earth, but for Judgment Day, to make everything happen on Earth, they would actually like to have a larger army, and that even practically in the dream they told me that they even recruited Japanese people for their cause. It was a dream, I'm not sure if it's real, but nevertheless, if the Imperial Germans exist, I believe they exist, World War II, Third Reich, the alliance with Japan and Italy is still on, as the former allied powers and the Soviet Union are actually allied against the Imperial Germans. Nevertheless, we are 70 years on, and there's a lot going on. I believe that Russia is the new boogeyman, as we've been portrayed in the media, and they're preparing this world for World War III. Billy Meyer also talks of this new Third World War. Even Edward Casey talks of this Third World War. All people who come down and search for the truth and have an open mind, even to the spirit world, the so-called metaphysical reality or spirit world, or the so-called hollow earth, or the so-called Imperial German survival myth, and the so-called ET phenomenon with Dr. Stephen Greer leading the way. If you have an open mind and research all of this, then the universe is colorful, the universe is full of life, the galaxy is full of life, and we have been visited numerous times in the past. It is only that the forces that be, the Zionist global control, that wants us to believe that there are no ETs, and then they brainwash us via Hollywood that there is only evil ETs who want to consume and kill us. I'm reading, I'm learning, I have a really open mind. I believe that there are ET civilizations out there, numerous ET races. I believe to a large extent that the Earth might be hollow, and that there's an Earthen colony inside there, an inner Earth, a German colony with its capital city, New Berlin. I believe also in the other world, and I sense the presence of my succubus Isais, who also talks through me regularly. And she also stops me from harming myself. If I take a knife and try to harm myself, a force stops it, an energy force stops it. And I even believe that, that I'm under divine protection. Anyhow, I wanted to make a video about EVP, transcommunication, that it is a phenomenon that has even been on TV, on German TV, and these mechanical recording devices actually exist. And he even asked practically one of those people, before 2012, is the world going to end in 2012? And the reaction from the other world was no, that the world would not end. Nevertheless, not everything that comes from the other world is good or positive. You always have to be critical of otherworldly information. These spirit entities also have their view and their perspective, unless, of course, it is the Father, the God Almighty, who actually talks to you. And there are several sites online actually claiming to be in contact with, well, divine heaven or something. I don't know if this is right, but I know that otherworldly communication is possible, and that we have to have an open mind to this. In the new societies of the future, in the new golden age, mankind will be in contact with the other world, and the priests of the new golden age will be in contact with the other world via thought and telepathy and communication, thought transference. And once we establish a permanent contact with the other world, we will create a society based on zero-point energy devices. Zero-point energy is actually energy from the ether that is all around us. I suggest you watch my video, Alex on Nikola Tesla and the ether. This is a book from Klaus V. Tortor, is a professor in physics, and it is a practical guide in building your own zero-point energy device. And he says that these devices function and that he builds them, but he gets no funding from the establishment because they want to boycott these zero-point energy devices. It's a book, well, interesting to read. And it portrays a reality that zero-point energy is more than real, more than possible with this ether technology. This is from Virgil Armstrong, the Armstrong Report. Another interesting read, I'm halfway through it. He portrays that there's apparently civilizations on the moon. I kind of confirm this. I know that the Imperial Germans, according to my research, made bases on the far side of the moon. And of course, he also says that the moon is practically an artificial planetoid, a small artificial planet that has been put there. Facts that actually support this theory is that the moon, there's only one side of the moon that is shown to us all the time. This means that the moon is in orbit around our Earth, but it turns in such a fashion that we only see the one side of the moon and never the other side. We never see the far side of the moon. Another fact is that once there's a solar eclipse, the moon fits perfectly on the sun. once it's totally over, it fits it perfectly. This all suggests that either nature is so incredible that it can create practically a moon that that is only one side in such an orbit that it turns around, that has a rotational speed in such a manner, and it's in orbit around the Earth, that only one face of the side of the moon is shown to us, and that at the same time it covers the sun in a solar eclipse totally. I don't know, I'm just thinking. You have to think about this and have an open mind. It is possible that stellar civilizations built moon-type bases and had visions back in 2008, 2007 that I saw practically Death Star-type planet destroyers that flew around and used humans as an energy source, the so-called real energy. This was just a visionary input back then when I had my incredible experiences after waking up. But I wanted to make a video about electronic voice phenomenon and transcommunication. I just wanted to share this video stating that contact with the other world is possible. I personally can allow my hands to be controlled by Isais or Ishtara or other etheric entities if they wish to. They can even talk through me when they want to. And it's incredible. For me, it's real. Transcommunication or etheric communication has been real since 2007, since I woke up. Cheers.